on the show lately, we have really been not only diving into, but encouraging everyone to speak up about this issue of biological boys participating in girls' sports. Because it's one of those things that, the mainstream media doesn't want to have these conversations. Oh, God forbid you bring up something about it online and you're just absolutely vilified, like J.K. Rowling went from this adored author of Harry Potter and now the left hates her because they call her anti-trans. And so, it's a scary thing to speak up about. I get it. But you look at what it's doing to our kids, in so many different ways. This is just one element of the gender identity obsession story, is the athletic element of it. And whether it's in high school sports or junior high sports or collegiate sports, it's one of these things that just doesn't make sense. It's not political. It's not. This isn't about hating trans people. It's about biology. And it's about the fact that young girls are not built like young boys, and women are not built like men. And women shouldn't be forced, females shouldn't be forced to compete against biological men. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care. That is just a really stupid thing to continue to push and act like there's not a problem there. And so we, this was a few days ago on the show, we talked about this Junior Olympics track meet that happened in Kashmir. So this is at the junior high level. And our understanding of how it works is essentially the top performers for all the school districts and the regions, they get to come and participate in Junior Olympics. And it's sort of like like state for high schoolers. So this is a big deal to these kids. And so there was a young girl, 14 years old, who has been a fantastic athlete. She wins a lot because she works really hard. And she took second place in the 1600 meter to a biological boy. And she didn't just lose, she lost by quite a bit. It wasn't close. It was like 7 seconds, which if you ever watch a track race, losing to someone by 7 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And she's the best of the best among the girls, but is no competition for competing against a biological boy who's just bigger, faster, stronger. So we shared this story, and I just said, what is it going to take? Like, who is going to speak up about these things? Why aren't more people speaking out about it? And then we were happy to hear that young girl's dad was willing to talk to us. He's going to be our guest coming up this Sunday on Sundays with Subscribers. His name is Brandi. I really got the sense, we actually taped this interview with him this morning, and I really got the sense he's not someone who's used to speaking out. In fact, he looked a little uncomfortable doing so. But he's a dad who is so frustrated for his daughter and for all the other female athletes, and he sees what we see, which is this doesn't make sense. And so he's now willing. We asked, you guys answer. He's willing to speak up, to put his name and his face and his voice out there and stand up for not only his child, but other young women. So we're going to have his full interview on Sundays with Subscribers, but I wanted to just play a clip of it today for you. You mentioned your daughter seems to have kind of taken it in stride. But I have to imagine, she's the best of the best, and she still was crushed by 7 seconds. I mean, how old is she?
She's 14 in 8th grade.
I mean, that's gotta just be...
Yeah, she's been beating herself up about all the things she could have done better. She's like, if I had used this strategy, or if I had trained a little harder in the season, or she's kind of internalized all of this, what if I could have done better, which is the right mindset for an athlete. But she's also just confused about what happened and why did this happen. And I had no idea that this was a possibility, that I'd have to compete with a biological male. I mean, she's a competitor, yeah, and she'll do what she needs to do to try to be successful. But yeah, she's definitely been upset about this, about why did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, that just, right in the heart. His dad talking about how his 14-year-old daughter, who works so hard, who does so well, who's a phenomenal athlete, her response to getting beaten by a biological boy was, what could I have done? Could I have trained harder? What could I have done? And that's so sad to me, because I'm sure this is what her parents said to her, you can't do anything except You know, what, try to change this. You're the best, you're one of the best female young track runners in the state of Washington, but you cannot beat a biological boy. And I think it was 10th place that biological boy would have gotten if he'd competed in the same event over on the male side. 10th place. So I just have a lot of admiration for Brendan Wilson and his wife and their willingness to speak out about this, because this photo went crazy viral all over the place. And there was one person who posted it who ended up taking it down because they just didn't want to deal with the hate and the vitriol. It takes a lot to speak up about these things. So Brendan is going to join us. You can hear that whole full conversation this week on Sundays with subscribers. If you want to sign up, undividedpod.com, undividedpod.com. We've been having fantastic conversations like that every single week.